start with a simple question. How many of you in the past year have been asked to do more with less? See some hands. ROI is no longer a quarterly number. It's become front and center of every conversation you have. Sound familiar? Well, data says that you're not alone. A Gartner report found that 75% of CMOs are being asked to do more with less budget. And 61% of B2B CMOs say that the last 12 months have been the hardest of their careers. Now, you don't need to work in marketing or B2B like me for that to resonate. My name's Rosie Hall. I'm a senior program manager in global marketing at Celonis. And I've lived and worked around the world, from the United States, where I'm from, to South Korea, and now I'm based in Munich, Germany. Now, if you don't know us, Celonis is the global leader in process intelligence. We help enterprises not only understand how their processes are running, but fix them fast, unlocking hundreds of millions of dollars in business value along the way. And Celonis' mission is very simple. We make processes work for people, for businesses, and for the planet. So I work in our marketing strategy and ops team. So as you can imagine, working for a company who lives and breathes process excellence, the bar for success in our team, well, it's pretty high. So when leadership came to us last fall with a similar ask pressuring those 75% of CMOs, naturally, my team in ops was up to bat. Now, it's not a new story, but it did come with new expectations. See, with AI, automation, and data at our fingertips, like we've heard all morning, leadership expected more. Not just static quarterly reports or annual optimized plans, but live visibility into what was happening as it was happening, so we could explain our ROI on a dime. So, like any good ops team, we started by framing the current situation. How could we optimize our spend, scale our output, and create live visibility all at once, and not have a 3-year ramp up to do it? So we became the physical embodiment of what Celonis does for all of our customers. And we call that finding the happy path. See, we were identifying the inefficiencies and the bottlenecks that were holding us back. Think stagnant data, or fragmented processes, or insights trapped in silos. If only we got t-shirts that said Happy Pathfinders while we were doing that. Somebody write that down. That's good Celonis swag. What we realized from our Happy Pathfinding was we didn't need more spreadsheets or meetings to talk about the spreadsheets or even people to manage the spreadsheets. No, we needed a system that could actually connect the work itself. A unified framework that could power our planning, our execution, and our reporting all in one place. It's ambitious, I know, so ambitious that our team actually has a name for this project. We call it the OMF, or the One Marketing Framework. We like a good acronym, I work in marketing. See, the OMF is a unified approach that creates a single source of truth that teams can report to, report from, and ultimately be accountable for. So, we knew what we wanted to achieve, how to satiate this executive ask for optimized and demonstrated impact. The question became, how would we get there? When we were navigating these waters, I would often say in our stakeholder meetings, listen, you don't build a skyscraper by starting with the light on top. We needed longevity. A solid foundation had to be created for what we were building because our output had to be worth our effort. And that's where Monday.com came in, and that's why I'm with all of you here today, to show you how Monday.com helped us bring the One Marketing Framework to life. So, from our Happy Path finding, Celonis swag still TBC, there were 3 things we identified would have to pivot for the OMF to work. First, for planning. We needed a single source of truth, an SSOT of what we ran in marketing. That would mean integrating systems and leveraging live data to connect how marketing operates. Second, the execution of that plan had to be more standardized, because without better consistency, operational spend would keep holding us back. And third, we needed real-time insights that we could action before they hit the bottom line, so that ROI measured was already ROI optimized. Let's start with planning, or the foundation of our OMF. So in reality, we did have something to go off of. We weren't flying blind. I still have my job for a reason. We had an existing repository of what we were doing already built in Monday.com. The problem. It was stagnant. See, it had been populated once during a planning cycle and then left to collect digital dust. And that's because it was too tedious. Teams had too many other places they needed to put things, like spreadsheets and slide decks and CRMs and ERPs. They were overwhelmed by updates. And without a reliable SSOT, we couldn't fully see what we were running and where we needed to adjust. So we got to work reevaluating what different boards needed to exist for planning, and how should processes flow between them. We started with the planning board itself. Now, bear with me here. One item equaled one activity in our planning board, and we built standards, creating decision trees for what was a marketing activity, how it went into this SSOT, and naming conventions so that data was easy to track. So, with our box the same, we could turn to the categorization of our plan, and we relied on our marketeers to give it to us. You can build the best process ever, but if it doesn't work for the people who need it, it won't be used. And you can quote me on that. Okay, I may have lost you in the technical weeds. I may even have lost myself. So here's the bottom line. In Monday.com, we're now able to manage budget from forecasting to actuals down to the line item level marketing activity with such reliability that our finance team uses the system for reporting. See, we weren't just building a board, we were building the foundation for how the marketing department plans, collaborates, and proves its impact. And the million-dollar question, all pun intended, how are we tracking to our fiscal year goals, and how can we pivot now to even exceed them? No more waiting for QBRs or for annual reports. Just total visibility and the power to optimize our ROI and demonstrate our impact in real time. So easy, think even a llama could do it. So we needed to find the happy path of our execution workflows. Okay, I felt at this point that we were standing at the top of our very own Celonis Chrysler building. The light we'd so long discussed in stakeholder meetings shining brightly just overhead. In other words, we gave our leaders exactly what they had asked for: live visibility into what marketing is doing, what results it's delivering, and why our spend matters. The OMF was now complete. Today, I've only tapped the surface of what Celonis and my team does in Monday.com. We have big plans for the future. Reaching the light at the top of our skyscraper was just the beginning. Now, we could see the skyline. So I'll leave you with this thought. Success requires knowing how your processes run and how to improve them. Because when processes work, everything works. Thank you.